Bournemouth spent 5 years in Premier League and played lots of good matches. Let's give them a memorable farewell and cover top 10 moments we will always remember Bournemouth Club for between 2015 to 2020. Number 10. Announcing Bournemouth's arrival to Premier League fans. 4-3 win against West Ham. Premier League newcomers Bournemouth notched their first ever win in Britain's top division aka English Premier League, beating West Ham United 4-3 in an early candidate for that year's match of the season. Callum Wilson, Bournemouth's goal machine, was on fire in that game. He was just starting to show exactly how good he was, and a hat-trick in only his third Premier League game proved how good he was. Number 9. The week of beating Premier League giants. 1-0 win against Chelsea. Hell clouds were coming over Jose Mourinho, and after this game, he admitted reappraisal of his managerial style. Tin pot Bournemouth away to Jose Mourinho's Premier League champions. Surely there could only ever be one winner. There was, and it weren't Premier League champions, Chelsea. Bournemouth arrived without a win in their 8 previous Premier League matches. However, against Chelsea, Eddie Howe's men impressed with their vivacity on the ball and their durability and defensive organisation out of possession. It was unsurprising Bournemouth's 3,000 travelling fans provided the main soundtrack to the match. Their repeated reminders "We've got the special one" was sung in homage to Eddie Howe. Also sung was "Glenn Murray, you will forever live on in the hearts and minds of every AFC Bournemouth fan." Number 8. The week of beating giants continued. 2-1 win against Manchester United. Riding high after victory against Chelsea, surely AFC Bournemouth couldn't do a double shock by beating the mighty Man United in back-to-back matches. However, a happy start to December was about to become even happier. Bournemouth's victory at Stamford Bridge 7 days earlier was akin to a smash-and-grab raid based on 37% of possession, a sturdy defence and a well-executed set-piece. Bournemouth were a constant danger on the counter, with pacey, intelligent runs of Stanislas off the wing posing constant threat to Manchester United. As the home fans constantly reminded their United counterparts, Bournemouth come from League Two. Manchester United chief executive Ed Woodward watched on stony-faced in the Vitality Stadium stands, not enjoying, like any other chartered accountant, negative return on investments. Number 7. Best game of 2016-2017 season. 4-3 win against Liverpool. A freezing day on the south coast saw the Cherries wow Jurgen Klopp's men with an unbelievable and unpredictable comeback. Bournemouth were trailing 1-0 after the 20-minute mark thanks to Sadio Mane. Just 2 minutes later, Divock Origi took it past Artur Boruc and poked home the second from a tight angle. With 2 goals in quick succession, you could be forgiven for thinking a Liverpool rout was on the cards. Up until this point, Bournemouth were yet to beat Liverpool, and it looked as though they'd have to wait yet another game to try and do so. Liverpool's 15-game unbeaten run was supposed to get extended to 16 as they looked like they had it won. But in big part thanks to the impact of substitute Ryan Fraser, Bournemouth stormed back with 3 goals in the last 15 minutes. Cook shoots from the edge of the area, disaster goalkeeper Karius couldn't hold on, and Nathan Ake was there, like a young Ian Rush, to smuggle the rebound over the line. Remarkable scenes to witness. Number 6. Booted Alexis Sanchez out of Arsenal with a loss. 2-1 win against Arsenal. Bournemouth completed a miserable day for Arsenal after recovering from 1-0 behind to complete a 2-1 victory over the visitors at the Vitality Stadium. Arsenal had dropped Chilean forward Alexis Sanchez as speculation mounted he could be set for Manchester United, Manchester City or Liverpool that month. Despite a good start as Arsenal moved ahead on 52 minutes courtesy of an opener from Hector Bellerin. However, the home team scored twice inside 4 minutes to take the 3 points with efforts from Callum Wilson, 70, and Jordan Ibe, 74, boosting their Premier League survival prospects as well as leaving Arsenal 5 points off 4th position, which as we know no longer became their granted position. Number 5. Bournemouth's 3-goal victory at defending champions Chelsea, 0-3 away win at Chelsea. According to Eddie Howe, Bournemouth's 3-goal victory at defending champions Chelsea was their best result in the Premier League. Second-half goals from Callum Wilson, Junior Stanislas and Nathan Ake secured the Cherries' first away win in 7 league matches as Chelsea suffered their joint heaviest loss of the season. This was a record of sorts as Bournemouth had beaten the reigning champions in each of the past 3 seasons, 1-0 at Chelsea in 2015-16, 1-0 at home to Leicester City in 2016-17 and this victory. Number 4. Bournemouth thrashed Chelsea. 4-0 win. This was just the second time in Premier League history Chelsea have lost a game by a 4-goal margin, after losing 5-1 to Liverpool in September 1996. Both of Bournemouth's Premier League wins on a Wednesday have come against Chelsea. Chelsea manager Maurizio Sarri admitted after the match, "We need to change something in the mentality because you can concede, but you need to play because the match was under control in the first half. It is a very strong setback because we knew this match was very important." It is not easy to play after today, but we need to react. In all fairness, the Blues made 405 passes in the first half but managed only 5 shots at goal as they failed to carve open a stubborn Bournemouth defence. Number 3. Thrilling South Coast derby. 3-3 draw against Saints. The campaign had been one of the best seasons, not merely because of the quality of the top sides but also because of its strength in depth. Almost every side has had an obvious tactical identity and most had offered entertainment. This South Coast derby was a fine example of the Premier League's excellence. It was 14th against 16th in terms of final positions, and both sides took the game to the opposition and produced a topsy-turvy encounter. 2 of Southampton's goals were scored by youth products, James Ward-Prowse and Matt Targett, and it was clear that coach Ralph Hasenhüttl wanted to return to Saints' philosophy of entrusting academy products. Meanwhile, Bournemouth's late equaliser was the most fitting goal. It was finished by Callum Wilson and assisted by Ryan Fraser. Those two combined for 12 goals this season, 4 more than any other pairing. Number 2. Watford 0 Bournemouth 4. Coming into this match, the sides were level on points and could only be separated on goal difference. When Kabasele saw red at 32nd minute, Javi Gracia opted to drop Etienne Capoue into central defence alongside Craig Cathcart, a decision that proved costly. Bournemouth weathered an early storm from Watford and went ahead early through Brooks, who finished off a lightning counter-attack spearheaded by the excellent Josh King. Josh King was again at the heart of the play for the second goal. He won the penalty, drawing a clumsy foul from Kabasele, before converting the resulting spot kick. Wilson has been one of Bournemouth's star performers that season, and his floated cross for King was perfectly weighted, giving the Norwegian a golden opportunity to make it 3, which he duly did. And Wilson, who that week missed out on a first England call-up, got himself on the scoresheet 2 minutes after the break when he controlled Fraser's cross brilliantly before tapping in. An interesting trivial: since returning to the Premier League in 2015-16, Watford had been shown more red cards than any other side in the competition, 13. Number 1. Spark of life in disastrous season, 4-1 against Leicester City. In one of the most thrilling games of the season, which otherwise was overall disastrous for Bournemouth. Bournemouth won a Premier League game after trailing at half-time for the first time since August 2018, versus West Ham. Most of the post-match talk was about Brendan Rodgers and his inability to set up team mentally. Remember Liverpool throwing away Premier League title in 2013-2014 season. Bournemouth were on the brink. It eventually proved to be a brief reprieve instead of a remarkable escape from relegation. Leicester had been coasting, with supporters perhaps beginning to think of who they might face in next season's Champions League. It was a proper game of 2 halves, a dreadful performance in the first 45 minutes by one team followed by the left my phone in my jeans and they're now in the washing machine display that Leicester put on in the second half. Yes,